JUZ 2. The JUZ begins discussing the changing in the Qibla, indicating that the Muslims now have their own identity separate from those of the people of the book. Allah Azza wa Jalla then mentions about seeking help through patience and prayer, and the many tests that we will face in this life, including that of fear, hunger, property, lives, and crops. And Allah Azza wa Jalla says, give glad tidings to those that are patient. Allah Azza wa Jalla then goes on to mention the state of the disbelievers on the Day of Judgment, and how those that were followed will disown their followers on the Day of Judgment. And Allah Azza wa Jalla then goes on to mention the different types of food that are both permissible and prohibited, and orders us to eat from that which is pure and halal. Allah Azza wa Jalla then goes on to mention that true righteousness is not turning your face towards the east or the west, but rather true righteousness is in faith and character and actions. For example, believing in Allah and the pillars of Iman, and establishing the prayer and giving zakat and many other actions. Allah Azza wa Jalla then goes on to list many rulings, for example fasting and Ramadan, and mentions that this fasting has been prescribed so that we can attain taqwa, that we can attain consciousness and awareness of Allah Azza wa Jalla, and increase our relationship with Him. Allah Azza wa Jalla then mentions rulings regarding dua, and how we should only call upon Allah alone, and He will solve and rectify our affairs. Allah Azza wa Jalla then mentions rulings regarding hajj and jihad, and how these commandments have been now obligated. Allah Azza wa Jalla then mentions family law and divorce, and includes how the husband and wife, even if they were to separate, that they should not forget the good times between them. The JUZ then concludes with the story of David and Goliath, and how Allah Azza wa Jalla is teaching us to trust in Allah even in the case of when we are outnumbered, and Allah Azza wa Jalla will give us victory.